Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Move Me Back series. My name is Dela, also known as Natural Ghana Girl, and today I have a super amazing guest with me. Hi Gifty.
Hi.
You're so pretty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's so nice to have you here today. So I basically Instagram stalked you and and got you to come and do an interview with me.
Yes.
Right. So first of all, tell me, are you Ghanaian?
Yes, I am Ghanaian.
You are Ghanaian. Okay, were you born here?
No, I wasn't born here. I was born and raised in Canada, Montreal, from the east.
Okay.
And then, lived in Britain for 2 years with my husband, and then moved to Ghana last year.
Wow. Okay. So that was really fast. No, it's good. It's good. Give us a little bit of a whirlwind there. Right. So you were in Canada and then you got married and then you moved to Ghana. You've been here a year.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, had you been to Ghana before?
I did. I would say so last year in April, we came to try it out to see if we like it and so forth. We did. I tried it out for like a week.
A week?
And I know, it wasn't enough. It's when I went back to the UK, because I lived in the UK for 2 years.
Right.
It's when I was like, oh, actually, I really like it. But yeah, so I was in Ghana, I think before that, at least 3 times. One of that, I was like 4 years old. So I really didn't come to Ghana as much because Canada and Ghana are so far apart.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I didn't come a lot.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So you had come for a week together.
Yes.
And almost off the back of that, you moved to Ghana.
Yes. So I came like in April during the UK half term, the spring half term or the Easter break, and then after that I went back to the UK. At first I was like, I don't know if I really want to go. It's when I went back to the UK I was like, actually I like it, I really like it, I want to go. And then we moved in July.
Right. So, wow. Okay. So what has it been like for you being here? Has it met your expectations?
Yes. But there's also challenges, which is normal, right?
Yeah.
You're in a new environment and so forth.
It's natural.
But I really like it so far. I just believe that it's always really good to take a break at least once a year.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be challenging. But overall I like it though. I would say I would not move back to Canada or the UK, but visiting 100%.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So has anything surprised you since you've moved here? Like I really didn't know that this was.
The driving here is a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be like I have to like pray before I drive. I'm like, Gifty, just relax, because it could be a lot. Like the way they drive is very, very different from the way I was taught how to drive. Yeah. So I think that to me is a lot, and the shock sometimes. And sometimes the customer service is a lot for me. Yes. But yeah. Yes. But other than that, honestly, I'm loving it. And like I said, I went back to Canada this summer. I really enjoyed it, but I was like, actually, home is Ghana.
How long did you go back for?
I went back for like almost a month and a half. So almost 2 months.
Okay, that's a long amount of time. So while you went back, did you feel like at a certain point, I'm ready to go? Or were you just enjoying your time then, knowing that you are going to go back to Ghana? Did you?
When I was in Canada?
Yeah.
I think after 2 weeks, I ate everything I missed.
Yeah.
Like I ate McDonald's, I ate like everything I missed that wasn't in Ghana. And I was ready to go.
Yeah. So the reason I asked you is because I remember when I went back to the UK and I went for 3 weeks and I was miserable because I was like, I had kind of gone there, done what I needed to do. And then I was like, I'm ready to go back to Ghana. Like, I felt like I was missing out. So I was looking through my Instagram, I was seeing people in Ghana. I'm like, oh man, I've missed that. And I couldn't wait to come back. So I just wanted to see if your experience was similar.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same. This
so
means
weird.
me too, by the way, in sign language.
Oh,
That's why I did that.
Oh, you can do sign language?
No, with my students.
Okay. So that leads us on to another question, right? So how do you sustain yourself financially here in Ghana?
So I teach in Ghana. I teach at international school, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Wow. Okay. So how long have you been teaching for altogether?
Altogether, it's going to be, I think it's my 4th or 5th year. But I've been teaching before I got my teacher certificate. I was teaching before. So it's kind of hard to tell, but overall, as like a teacher, my certificate, it's my 4th year. But before that, I was teaching in different ways, Sunday school. And
So have you always wanted to teach? Is that what you've always loved to do?
I did. As a kid, I wanted to be a teacher. And then at one point when I got to college, I wanted to be a weather woman. I wanted to be a news reporter. Then I wanted to
see you doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I wanted to be everything but a teacher. But notice that everything is about representing.
Right.
So I always wanted to do something with presenting, speaking in front of people. And then God was like, Gifty, you're a teacher. So I was like,
whether you like it or not.
Literally.
Okay. So when you moved to the UK, were you teaching there there as well?
I was.
And then you moved here and you teach.
Yes.
You started to teach.
Yes.
So how did you get yourself into a role? How did that happen? Because for most people, they'd be kind of afraid, like, if I come here, how am I going to get myself into a position? Is it going to take me a long time to get into, like, how did it work for you?
Honestly, it's God. Like, so basically, there was a particular school I really wanted to teach at. I was like, if we're moving to Ghana, God, it needs to be this school because Ghana's expensive. The things I want in Ghana, which is like things shipped from Canada, what I'm used to, it's expensive. So I'm like, it needs to be this particular school. And so lots of prayer, and then literally going on like I kept applying to the school. So we knew, so before we got married, we knew we were going to move to Ghana. Like we knew eventually. Did I know it was gonna be this quick? No.
Right.
But we knew we were going to move. So I knew the different schools I wanted to work at, but there's one I really wanted to work at. So I just kept applying to school.
The same school?
The same school.
Here she is again.
Literally.
She's again.
She's again. Literally. And then one time God just opened the door and I got an interview and I got a second interview and they liked me. And then, so I had the job before I moved to Ghana.
Oh, you
so actually,
did?
I did. So I knew exactly what I was going to do when before I came here. I actually had 3 offers of schools. So I had to actually pick one, and then it became a hard thing to pick which one. Because all 3 were so good. Yeah. But there was one that was like, this is amazing.
Was it the one that you initially wanted?
Yes. So the one I initially wanted, it was the last offer I got. And then I was like, oh, now there's 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, so lots of prayer, lots of thinking, so forth. And then I was like, okay, no, this is the one.
Wow.
So so before I moved, basically before I moved, I knew the school I was working at. I knew it. So, yeah.
Wow. So you were able to apply online through their website, or how did you do it?
I applied to the website. I also there's a website the school particularly uses to hire teachers. So I went on that website as well, and then I had really good references, and so yeah.
Wow, okay. So when you moved, in terms of accommodation, did you move to be particularly close to that school, or did you plan it that way, or how did it work?
No, so basically, at the moment we're living in a place that's not so close to the school. It takes me about, in the morning, it takes me like 40 minutes, but after school, because of traffic, it takes me about like an hour and 30 sometimes.
Wow.
So it's quite far.
Yeah.
But so we didn't move too close to school, but at least I have a car, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I find one of the things that sometimes people don't take account for, because, you know, in the West, you like, if you have an hour's journey to work, it's not the end of the world, right? You can travel because it's kind of easy. You know, transport links are all there. You can kind of make it work, right? But here, when you're talking about doing a 20-minute journey, it can take you like an hour and a half. And so sometimes we don't plan properly in terms of, you know, the school that we want to go to, even if you're just sending your children to school. So we're talking about you're sending your children to a school, say in Cantonment, and you live perhaps, say, I don't know, Adenta or something like that, and then you have to, you know, you have to now deal with the traffic, and so now your school options actually become limited because of where you live. But it kind of works for you, right?
It does. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. And now I know like 3 different ways to get to my school.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, okay, which way should I go? I'm like, okay, this one has less traffic because of this time.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out. I think the fastest I've gotten home from school was 30 minutes. I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I was so happy.
Yeah. Oh wow. So how did you find navigating around town? Because for me, right, I am terrible. Like, I struggle with left and right. If someone says to me, is it left or right? I'm like, so I have to think which. So how did you find getting around, right? Because you don't really know Ghana that well. No. How did you manage to travel around and get to where you need to go to?
Waves. The Waves app. Even to get here, I used Waves.
Really?
Yeah, so there's certain places that I know, like my parents' house, I know. I know where I shop in terms of like food, groceries.
Yeah.
I know how to get to school now.
Yeah.
But before I had to use Waves a lot. So I think the app Waves helps me, but sometimes Waves brings you to like back roads. So then sometimes I ignore it.
I've heard of that app before, but I've never used it.
Really
I use Google Maps.
Oh, I can't use Google Maps. I find it's hard for me to so basically the car's there, but I find it's hard for me to figure out what the streets are.
Right.
Whereas Waze is like really particular. It shows you where there's traffic. It shows you if there's a cop in
really?
Ghana. Yeah, which is really...
That could be handy.
Yes. And traffic or if there's like something happened, an accident or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, Waves helps me a lot. Other than that, it's if I'm going somewhere, it's because I know that way because I've been there.
Yeah.
But honestly, Waves.
Wow.
sometimes I use it too much. Like I know the area and I just use it. And
just relying on it, right?
Yeah, which is not good. You need to use your brain.
So tell me, do you have a network of friends here now? How's that been? Because I know it can be challenging. Have you managed to establish some good friendships here?
I think I have a few, but the ones I have they're from London, or I have a few that moved from Montreal where I'm from. Yeah. So I hang out with them. But in terms of like network of friends, like a big one, no. I'm also very a type of person that's very close knit. Like my closest friends are my cousins are my best friends. So
keeping it real close.
Literally. So yeah. So
okay, no. I mean, because I find that finding like real meaningful friends can be hard, but I don't think it's necessarily because of where we live. Partly maybe, but not necessarily just that. It's also because, you know, when you reach a certain age, it becomes hard to establish new friendships. And then, you know, when you're in a new country trying to establish these friendships, and it can be a bit challenging. That's the reason that I asked you. I just kind of wanted to see what your experience with. So, I mean, you keep it tight anyway, so that's kind of your circle, right?
That's basically it. But I'm open to new friendships as long as it's God ordained, then okay.
Right,
but at the moment, like, I'm very, like, a close circle. I've always been like that as a kid. Like my best friends as a kid was my cousins. Like I have pictures with only cousins. Literally.
Okay. So do you do a lot of nightlife here? Do you go out and stuff like that?
I don't.
You don't? You're a home person?
I would say so, and I like to have my close friends or my close cousins come over to watch movies or have dinner. I don't do nightlife.
That's great.
Oh, okay.
That's great. Do you know why? Because I'm exactly the same way. Like, if someone's, you know, I'm one of these people, right? If you make plans with me, I say yes on a really good day. And then come the day, I'm like, I don't really want to go. And then I think of ways that I can come out of it. I'm terrible at it, so don't invite me anywhere. So, yeah, I actually really like being at home as well.
I do.
So, like, I prefer to have people come over. Let's watch Netflix. Let's do
games night. I love Uno. Do you know Articulate? You're from the UK, so you know Articulate.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know how to play it. I know. I like, right, yeah.
Once you know, it's
I don't even know how to play Uno. I'm like,
what?
I've bought it like 2 or 3 times, and every time the children just scatter the cards, I'm like, I end up putting it in the bin. I'm like, I don't even know how to play this thing.
It's so fun. It gets really I have goosebumps. It gets so competitive. I just had a birthday, and literally my birthday was eating and Uno.
Really?
And I was just like, I was so happy because I was just so in my element.
Cool. See,
it was really competitive.
I love that. That's so cool. So recently I did like this kind of, I had some people over to the house, and we like listened to like music from the 90s and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was so
Was
much.
it like Ghana Highland?
It was so, no, it wasn't Ghana Highland.
Okay.
It was literally 90s music. So we were listening to some TLC, we were doing some throwbacks.
Were you dancing?
Yeah, we were like, it was so cool. It was so, like, I had so much fun. I'm like, that is my ideal thing of fun. Just having people over. I know we're not talking about Ghana now, but we're getting out. Well, you know, we're going off topic here, but yeah. So like, it was so fun, and that's the kind of thing that I love to do, you know, because it's intimate, and it's just like, you get to speak to everybody, you have fun, you can relax, and so I completely get where you're coming from, yeah. So tell me about food. Do you eat a lot of local dishes?
A few, not a lot. I feel like I mix it up, but I feel like I'm more into like continental.
Yeah.
But like this morning I just made jollof. Yeah, I feel like I eat more continental, like pastas or burgers. If it's Ghanaian, I like wache.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I'll have light soup, like once in a while, like twice a year. Sundays, my husband says it's kenke days, so we have kenkes on Sundays.
Really? Kenke Sunday, okay.
Literally. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically, but mostly I would say more continental.
Wow.
Yeah.
So can you make any of the local dishes, like you go out there, pound the fufu, make the banku?
I can make fufu, I can make light soup, I can make jollof.
Okay.
What else? Stew.
Okay, so did you learn to do that here, or something you've learned like from your background?
So from my mom, from my mother-in-law, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Them 3 mixed together.
Yeah. And it worked out, right?
Yes,
yeah. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so you're pretty confident with your like cooking. I should get you to come onto my show. I'm doing like a little bit of a cooking segment. I'm putting you under pressure, a little bit of pressure. I'd love to see what you can make.
Yeah.
Would you be up for something?
I would.
Really?
I like cooking a lot.
Really?
I just get really sour and it doesn't taste good.
Okay, don't worry.
That's the only thing.
I'll pretend on camera that it tastes good.
Don't do that.
You
Now I don't want to come on.
Can you make kelewele?
I can.
Really? Does it come out really authentic tasting?
So my sister has this spice called a book spices, and basically she has a kilawili mix, and honestly, it's delicious. So basically, I cut the kilawili, I clean it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that, I put the spices and let it marinate.
Yeah.
And then once I'm ready to fry it, I fry it, and it actually tastes like,
really?
Yeah, from her spice.
Because I have such a gripe when it comes to kilawili. Like you go to restaurants, right, and you're like, oh, can I have kilawili? You get it, and it's like plantain with some salt on it, and it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Like the only place I found authentic kilawili is when you go to, like, you know, the people that do it on the roadside. And they literally do it, they put the seasonings together and they do it and they mix it and they do it and they fry it in front of you. Yeah. They're the only ones that I find authentic. But like when you go to restaurants, even when you buy the packet seasoning and it says kelewele on the thing and you put it on the plate, it just doesn't taste the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
Where'd you get your kelewele from in Ghana? Like if
so
you're roadside?
I used to go to a place, there was a place, so I used to live in Lakeside and there was a place, Lakeside Estate. No, a chalet portrait. Oh my gosh, oh gosh. We're gonna have to go drive in. I'm gonna have to show her like some places. I mean, I'm bad, so if I'm telling you where places are, now we have a bad situation.
You've been here for 8 years.
I know I have, and I'm still really bad, but still,
really?
like, yeah.
Name, where else is close to there? I need to know.
Okay, so like Adenta, Aviation.
Okay. Oh, that's far.
Oh, it's not
from
too
where we
far.
are.
Yeah, but it's not too far.
Not too far. Okay.
It's not too far, you know. Back in the day, when I first came to Ghana, right, if you wanted to get to Adenta, right, the roads were not done, it would take you like an hour from, like, it was so bad. Then they did the roads, and all of a sudden, it just opened up that whole area.
Okay.
So then Adenta became so accessible. So then it was like the new place that people were moving to because it was just fast access to get there and stuff. But anyway, I'm going off topic. But yes, the plantain, you can get it from, you can get it from Adenta.
Okay.
So there was a woman that used to fry it, but then I think what happened was they started developing the area, then she got cleared out from there, and then she's not there anymore. She used to be my person. I used to go there.
That's what always happens, because my husband said that there's a place that he used to get kilawili from, and the lady's not there anymore.
Yeah, and then you can't find
them.
them.
Exactly. It's so
sad. I'm like, man, you need to get Instagram so I can like follow you and know where you are. And so it makes
That's actually really sad.
Yeah.
If something's like really passionate, you like this food, you
because these are people that do like the authentic stuff. Like even, you know, some people have like a love of wache and they know where they go to get their. They have like this one seller, and it's like because if they don't have Instagram or somewhere you can keep up with them, a lot of the time if something happens and they get cleared out from that spot, you can never find them again, and you're like, now I've got to find a new person. Like we need a way to keep these things so that we know where our people are.
That's a good business idea.
It is, isn't it? I shouldn't have just stopped talking so much, right? It really is. So like open up local businesses because it's not every time you want to go to like a posh restaurant somewhere and buy it because the food, I'm sorry to say, it's not always that authentic in that way. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have, you can tell when something's really authentic and sometimes it's not as authentic. You want the authentic, the real ones, you know. Someone said to me that, you know, if you want a good wache, you need to get it from where the gutter is. You buy it from in front of the gutter because that's where they put all the seasoning and that's where it tastes really good.
No, I understand.
You know,
I get it. Yeah. That's where they make, like, it's like love.
It's, you know, it's everything from scratch, you know. So, yeah. Do you feel like Ghana is your home now?
Yes.
Really?
I really like it.
Really?
And I think going back to Montreal this summer, and I was like I love Montreal. It's also, I feel like I have 3 homes now, Ghana, London, and Montreal. But when I went back to Montreal, and I was like, oh, I love this place. I love the food. Obviously, I was born and raised there, so it's like, it has a big part of my heart.
Yeah.
But when I was missing Ghana after 2 weeks of my like 2-month vacation there, I was like, wow, I really love Ghana.
Wow.
Because I was really like, honestly, like craving it. I was like, and I was so excited to be back. I was like, I was like,
Yeah, it feels good to be back home, right?
I really liked it.
Yeah, I think also another thing that kind of helps is the fact that because we have the sun, and you know the sun energizes you, it has a way of energy. You don't mind going out when it's sunny and so it keeps you in good health. It just makes you feel good overall, you know?
100%.
Yeah. So tell me, what piece of advice would you give to someone who is considering moving to Ghana and is not sure?
Okay.
What kind of steps would you give them?
I would say the first thing is figure out what you're going to do before you come. Ghana's not cheap, as we see on Instagram. It's true. So I would say definitely figure out what you're going to do, where you're going to work, where you're going to live, if you're going to have a car or not. Just figure those things out before you move out. Because if you don't, it just makes the process harder. I thank God so much that I was able to have a job before coming. So that really helped smooth things out. I was able to find a car really quickly. I knew where I was going to live already. So it just made the process very smooth. That's like my advice. Figure out what you're going to do before you come. And also come beforehand as well to make sure it's something that you know you're interested in. I did it for a week, which is not ideal because of my work situation in the UK. But definitely come for a week and figure it out. A lot of people say that they'll come for like a year and try it out. I think a year is not a lot of time. So I would say rethink that year thing if that's something that's on your mind. I'll try it for a year. Because it's not enough to experience Ghana for what it is. Like I've just done a year and it feels like it was a day. And it goes so fast, right? Literally. So just rethink the year thing. And if you're all in, just take Ghana for how it is, because it's not if you're watching from London, it's not London. If you're watching from Canada, it's not Canada. If you're watching from the States, it's not the States. So just really appreciate Ghana for what it is, because it has its own beauty. So it's easy to compare, but just try not to. And see it for its value. So when you moved, just as a final question, do you feel like there was something you wish you had done differently? Do you feel like you made any mistakes or anything like that? That's a good question. I don't think so, you know. I think God honestly worked it all out, because the fact that I had a job, I had my car, my husband's business was going well. I think everything has been smooth so far. The only thing that I would say, like I said, is hard is literally the driving sometimes. Like I said, the driving can be hard sometimes. No, it can. I'm getting used to it though. I'm getting used to it now. But anything I would do differently, I don't think so. Okay. The only thing I would say is maybe that 1 week wasn't enough. But I'm the type of person that just goes straight into something, and I just did it. Whereas someone else would have been. So you kind of need to know yourself as well as to what you can stand, because not everyone can do that, as you say. No. Like literally, when I got married, like the same week I moved to the UK, I was just fine with it. Really? And then Ghana too, I just like, that's just who I am. I just go with the flow. Which is not for everyone. But yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, that's brave and that's good. But thank you so much for talking to me today and making some time. I know you're a very busy woman, you know. So I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. It's been absolutely amazing to speak to Gifty. I mean, I was just right in there. It was like, I even forgot the camera was here, honestly. I was just in the flow of speaking with her, and it was like we're just having a conversation, you know, just meeting and just having a conversation. So that's really nice. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would love it so much if you would do me a favor and just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Also, just before I do leave as well, if you have an amazing story to tell about your move to Ghana, anything like that, please also send me an email to the same email address, naturalghanagirl@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. So don't forget, subscribe, notification bell. Until next time, I am out, Nutitfafa.